World War I was a dark catalog of human ingenuity turned towards destruction. It was the birth of industrial horror. The German Empire, in particular, introduced weapons that broke all prior conventions of war. Chlorine gas that melted the inside of a man's lungs, and terrifying flamethrowers that incinerated soldiers alive. Yet, here is one of the greatest ironies of the conflict. In September 1918, the German government sent a formal diplomatic cable to Washington, D.C. They weren't seeking peace, but making a demand. They demanded the Americans stop using a specific weapon, claiming it was too cruel, too barbaric, and a direct violation of the laws of civilized warfare. The weapon, the simple, wooden American pump-action shotgun, specifically the Winchester Model 1897. They threatened to execute any American prisoner found carrying one of these trench guns. How terrifying does a weapon have to be for the inventors of poison gas to call it inhumane? Today, we are racking the slide on the Winchester Model 1897 and analyzing the anatomy of fear. To understand the German fear, you have to understand the mechanism behind the murder. The Model 1897 had a unique feature known as slam fire. Most modern guns require you to release and pull the trigger for every single shot fired. The 1897 had no trigger disconnector. This meant that if you held the trigger down, the gun would fire the instant the pump handle was slammed forward into battery. It transformed the shotgun from a slow hunting weapon to an unstoppable close-quarters machine gun. A skilled German soldier with a Mauser rifle could, at best, fire about 10 rounds a minute. An American doughboy with a trench gun could empty its full capacity of 6 rounds of .00 buckshot in under 3 seconds. That is 54 lead pellets simultaneously flying down a narrow, dark hallway. It wasn't about marksmanship anymore. It was about laying down a continuous wall of lethal lead. The environment of the Western Front trenches amplified the shotgun's lethality. Trenches were designed with sharp, staggered corners to absorb the blast waves of incoming artillery. This created tight, confusing bottlenecks. In these confined spaces, a long bolt-action rifle was a fatal liability. If you rounded a corner and encountered an enemy, your long barrel made it impossible to swing and aim quickly. You were essentially dead. The shotgun, being short, easy to swing, and requiring zero precise aiming, was the perfect tool for clearing these bottlenecks. The U.S. military specifically modified the shotgun for trench use. They added a perforated heat shield so the soldier wouldn't burn his hand during that rapid slam-fire operation, and most importantly, a lug for a massive 16-inch bayonet. It became known universally as the trench broom because it literally swept the enemy out of the earth. But like any weapon system, the trench gun had one massive, fatal weakness that nearly ruined its effectiveness: the ammunition. In 1918, shotgun shells were made primarily from cardboard or waxed paper, not the plastic casing we are familiar with today. The trenches of France were perpetually wet, muddy, and freezing. When these paper shells got wet, they swelled. This swelling caused catastrophic malfunctions. A wet shell wouldn't fit into the chamber, or worse, it would partially enter the chamber and then jam the gun entirely. This left the soldier holding a useless metal stick in the middle of a close-quarters firefight. The U.S. military had to rush expensive, high-quality brass shells to the front to fix the issue, but for many troops, the fear of that inevitable jam was just as bad as the enemy across the line. So, how did the U.S. respond to the German protest? General Pershing's answer was short and devastating: no. He noted that while being hit by 9 pellets of lead was brutal, it was arguably more humane than choking to death on chlorine gas or being burned alive by a flamethrower. The German protest didn't succeed in banning the weapon. It only succeeded in giving it the most effective wartime marketing imaginable. It told every American soldier, this thing truly terrifies them. The Winchester Model 1897 proved that when survival is on the line, the only rule is what works. Was the shotgun too cruel for war? Or was the German protest pure hypocrisy? Let me know in the comments below.